In the beginning of 2020, I moved into an old attic space in order to record my YouTube videos. In 2021, I expanded it. And in 2022, I finalized it. But I forgot one very important thing: the heart of the studio. So let me show you the current setup that I got here in the studio. Ta-da! Ah, look at that. I can't even remember what this is. Ubiquiti UniFi security gateway. The Philips Hue bridge, which controls all the lights here in the studio. Pretty cool. A Google router, and this is our main router. For a very long time, I've been wanting to get fiber here into the studio, but there hasn't really been an opportunity to dig that. So I've been relying on 4G and 5G network, and it actually works kind of good. From the security gateway, we have a Ethernet cable going to this switch, and it has 4 Ethernet connections going in. One of them goes to the Bridgestone Pro that I got here on my computer so that I can access my NAS units, which goes along here, all the way, and it's up in this switch. One for the small NAS unit, and then another one for this NAS unit. And then the third leading up to this switch. And this switch in turn has an Ethernet connected to the printer and my Arlo security system. Across this beam down to this switch. And this switch is basically controlling this Arlo unit, but also my 2 3D printers. I know, it's just a bunch of things connected to each other without no sort of system in place. Let me give you a little bit of a better overview. This room is the one that I moved into in the beginning of 2020, and I usually refer to this room as the office. When I expanded out into this room, I started referring this as the studio, even though I call the entire thing the PL studio. This is like the studio room. You've probably already guessed it by now, but the last room that I expanded the studio into is this room. And this is what I refer to as the lounge. When I was building these rooms, I never really thought about the connectivity between them all. I mean, Wi-Fi, and as you can see here, I had my internet base in the office that I then extended with Wi-Fi mesh points throughout the entire studio. This setup works, but it could be so much better. And that is where Ubiquiti comes into play. Oh! Ta-da! The Ubiquiti UniFi U6 Pro. Perfect signal, no matter where we are. How many, you ask? Is that gonna be overkill? Eh. The UniFi Dream Machine Special Edition with the UniFi Pro 24 PoE. The 6U Rack Mini. UniFi Protect. The G5 Pro video camera. Ouch. Scan here to get started. All right. IKEA. Nice. Ta-da! The Dream Machine Pro SE. Beautiful! I don't know about you, but I think that this is going to be a pretty good placement for the rack. This You know about Artlist, huh? Of course I know who Artlist is. I've been using them for well over 5 years at this point. They're one of the absolute best places for creators to get all the things that they need to make their videos come alive. Have you heard the news, huh? What news? The Artlist 100K fund. Yeah, I have. Huh? The one that any sort of creator can pitch their wildest ideas to and have the chance of Artlist actually giving them $100,000. Yeah. It's open between September 12th and October 12th, 2023. See, I was thinking here that I could buy an idea or two from you. You and I, huh? You and I? No, don't think so. But you can get in on your own if you post the concept of the idea onto your social medias and then tag artlist.io and use the hashtag Artlist 100K font. Tag och hash, va? Hashtag is used on social media. By the way, is that fake money? Nej, fan. Nej, det är It's det peng så. Keep your idea for yourself here, okay? That guy. So I'm gonna start by replacing all my Arlo cameras with the G5, and then we're gonna drag all the cables. Basically looks the same as the Arlo camera, but better. I really like the placement of this camera because it blends in very well with the tools, but I'm thinking that the new one is going to be up here. There's a special tool in the box that helps you tighten the screw. Okay. There we go. Nice! Unplug. This is the UniFi Network Flex Mini, and as you can see here, it's powered by Ethernet and it has 4 ports available that you can use. Let's start with one. So, I've been using this router for a very long time. It's a 4G router from Huawei, or as we say in Sweden, Huawei. So I'm switching that up to a Netgear Nighthawk. And the fun thing with this router is that I purchased this 2-3 years ago maybe, and I have never used it once, even though I thought I would. Basically, I'm thinking that this is going to be placed somewhere around here, and that's going to be it. I'm thinking that this cable is just going to be plugged in right here, and then we can just shorten this down so that we can fit it in to the switch. I'm gonna need to have a lot of different custom lengths on the Ethernet cables, and that is where I hope this comes in. Cable tester. Oh. One of the most annoying things with redoing the Ethernet is that I gotta move a lot of stuff. I have never in my life used one of these cables before. Cable tjofräs. We're gonna give it a test. Let's take a liten här va? Vad är här nu? Knipsa till! Eller? There has to be some explanation va? Den går ju in där. Nyper man till den. Men hur fan får jag kablarna dit då? How to crimp an Ethernet cable. Now I know what this was for. Ooh, untwin, va? I think that this is correct. Okay. There we go. If this starts to blink, then we have signal. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Call me Mr. Ethernet, va? Moment of truth. Take this. It doesn't flash on lights. Internet connected? Yo! I am very impressed by these cameras. Not only are they power over Ethernet, so you don't have to have any sort of extra cables going into them, but they also have 3 times optical zoom. This is the widest. And this is 3 times zoom. Pretty sick. Let's jump into the back end, and I'm going to show you how everything looks from the command center. This is how it turned out here by the switch. So we got the router on top here, we got the Philips Hue, and then we got the NVR, we got the Dream Machine, and then we have the big switch. All the cables are marked up so that we know which one goes where. But now for the most interesting part. This is the UniFi portal, and it's basically the back end of things. And it's gonna show you the units that you have connected. And if we go into optics, you're gonna go to UniFi Protect, and then you're gonna be able to see everything that has happened throughout the entire time that the video recording has been live. For example, see all the 4 in real time. I can do that right now. And as you can see up here on the right hand side, Hi there, my name is Peter. It's a little bit like watching a security camera in a movie. And then of course you can download any sort of segments if you have the drives installed, which I think is pretty sick, because then I can start using that in my videos whenever I arrive to the studio, or if something happens that I didn't get on camera, but I still want to have the footage off. So I think that is pretty cool. There's a bunch of different things that you can control, and you can tweak this and make it just the way that you want it to. And I named my NVR Optics. I was thinking about Optimus, but that would be too obvious because my car is named Optimus. Let's jump back to the portal and then jump into Soundwave, which is the dream machine. And again, it's going to take us to UniFi OS and then go into network. Here, we're going to see everything that is going on our network. Let's start by doing a speed test, shall we? So we got 68 megabit per second download and 25 megabit upload. I gotta say, this is very good because this is 4G that we're rocking right now. And the coolest thing that I think in this backend is watching the topology. And it looks like this. You can see all the different units that is currently connected to your network and your Wi-Fi's. And as you can see here, I used 1, 2, 3 U6 Pros in the studio, but it's very cool to be able to see the entire setup like this. But I named my Dream Machine Soundwave, the big switch Metroplex, the 8 switch Mirage, one of the 4-port switch Bumblebee, and then the other one Ratchet. So we got an entire Transformers name all across the board. This entire UI is very easy to use, and I found it incredibly intuitive when I set everything up. I think what I like the most with this entire setup is how unified everything actually is, and how easy it is to get started setting up all the different things that you need in order to have a safe network in your studio or in your home, depending on where you want to set things up. You can set up a bunch of different networks if you want. So if you want to create a guest network that only guests are able to access, then you can do that. And the cool thing with that is that they're not going to be able to access any of your devices that is connected to your network. So you can sort of separate everything from your devices. If you're looking into upgrading your network or start building a new network at home or in your studio, I highly recommend you to think about Ethernet cables before you finish up a build, so that you can draw all the cables before you put on the drywalls and stuff like that. Do check out the UniFi products. Get a drop link in the description. They are so incredibly easy to work with, and everything is basically just plug and play. Simple as that. If you like this video, do not forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to know more about the network setup that I got, or any other setup for that matter, drop a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Peter från Sweden is saying goodbye.